When you believe you can learn something, you usually can. It dramatically increases your chance of success simply by thinking you can do it. It goes even further, however, when you add to that belief a determination to succeed. When you strongly want to learn something, it is much easier to learn it. You have a confident air about you that others can see and feel, and your chance of success goes up each and every time you affirm your determination to do it. It is important to also understand a little about the way people think about things. We literally have two minds, a conscious mind, which contains all the thinking we do in our everyday life, and our subconscious mind, which can be our best friend or our worst enemy. Because we have two minds, it is quite easy for us to say, I believe in psychic abilities, yet our subconscious mind keeps dwelling on the many negative things you have heard regarding the abilities and manages to prevent us from being able to learn out of a misguided attempt to protect you from an unreal danger. If you in any way think that you may have doubts about the existence of psychic abilities, or if you in any way that there is something evil about them, you must work on changing your subconscious beliefs, or you will never experience full success. Anyone who has made it through high school with a basic education has heard about the Dark Ages, where people were burned at the stake for anything that even closely resembled witchcraft. To this day, there are many people who place psychic abilities within the realm of witchcraft. One has only to watch some of the preachers on television on Sunday morning to know there are many who still hold on to this misguided belief. All of this can have a negative effect on you, especially if you consider yourself to be a Christian. So while you may consciously say you believe, your subconscious is sitting there telling you to forget about it. It does not exist, and this can keep you from obtaining success. The Bible talks openly of prophets from back in ancient times and foretells of future times when our children would see visions. This is nothing more than the language of ancient times using their terms to talk about psychics. If you believe, as this author does, that God created everything, then God also created psychic abilities within us, and like so many things in our world, are neither good or bad in themselves, but are good or bad depending they are used for. No matter what religious persuasion you consider yourself to be, any doubt in your mind in the existence of psychic abilities, or if you have a long-held belief that psychic abilities are from the devil or in any way bad, please start with reversing those beliefs. Look long and hard within yourself and see where those beliefs came from so that you can let them go. If need be, work on reprogramming your mind to accept psychic abilities as both real and capable of doing good for humanity. This can be accomplished most easily through affirmations such as 1. I am psychic. 2. My psychic powers can help people. 3. Psychic powers can be used to create a better world. 4. Psychic abilities can save people from pain and suffering. There are hundreds of others you can use, but the best affirmations come from within you. Look inside and find where that doubt comes from. Is it something your parents said in your past? Did a preacher scare you with threats of damnation as a child? When you better understand where your doubt comes from, you can design an affirmation that is aimed directly as reversing the belief within you and release it so you can realize your greatest potential. Once you have the affirmation you have chosen to use, spend a few moments each morning when you first get up looking into the mirror and saying your affirmation to the image in the mirror. Also do this the last thing at night before you go to bed. During the day, anytime you have a spare few minutes, repeat the affirmation as many times as you can. For most people, there are literally years and years worth of being told the negative things, and all these years must be overcome. Exactly how long you need to continue this is something no one can say with any certainty. For people who did not hear a lot of negativity regarding psychic abilities, they may be able to put it all out of their subconscious minds within just a few days. People that experienced a large number of negative experiences or who were exceptionally scared during one or more of their experiences may take longer. Binaural beats are a tool to help get the brain into the right mode to allow changes to happen in a person. The technique uses specific sound wavelengths to cause the brain to vibrate at a specific rate, which is known to cause a specific event or behavior within a person. As you will see in the chapter on learning about energy, all forms of energy moves in waves which can be translated into a frequency. The concept behind binaural beats is to get the brain to move to a desired frequency where the behavior that is being sought usually resides. We have known for quite some time now that when a person is asleep, their brain wave will be running within a specific range of numbers. When they awake, there is another range of numbers they will fall into. The brain waves are measured in H. The following chart is one of the more accepted charts to show the Ekazil level of the brain when it is in various frequency ranges. It is important to note that not everyone agree with these ranges. However, the vast majority are close to being the same. This author believes the reason scientists cannot 100% agree is there are small fluctuations in the numbers between various people. For instance, at 13 hertz, a person could be fully awake, yet the majority of people are fully awake at 14 hertz. From 0.01 to 3 hertz delta range, very deep sleep, basically this level is completely unconscious. There is no evidence to believe that any type of dreaming goes on at this level. From 3.1 to 7 hertz, theta range, deep sleep, this is the level where lucid dreaming happens. Channeling happens at this level. Very deep meditation would fall in this level. From 7.01 to 14 hertz alpha range, this is the level where most dreams take place and rapid eye movement is seen. This is the level where most people go to during meditation. Psychic visions can easily happen here. Light meditation would fall in this category. From 14.01 to 21 hertz beta level, fully awake, capable of using your brain for all your normal tasks. It is important to note that all psychic visions do not happen at the alpha range. Many people will have vision while fully awake and in the beta range. However, if you are trying to induce a psychic vision, the alpha range is a good place to aim for, as it will increase the chances of having a vision. This chart only lists the very basic levels that science has accepted as the levels our brainwaves are in during various stages of sleep or awareness. For years now, a growing number of homegrown scientists have been experimenting with the binaural beats technique. By measuring the brainwave activity while a person is performing a specific task, they have a pretty good basic map of which brainwave frequencies create specific types of behavior. The reverse also happens in that once someone pinpoints what they believe to be a specific frequency to cause a specific behavior, others will experiment using that frequency and attempt to recreate the behavior. Problems arose early in the experiments in that listening to a frequency that is within the normal sleep range, the subject would fall asleep. Then someone realized that by playing two different frequencies, one in each ear, the brain responded to the difference between the two frequencies. For instance, if you want to have the brain respond to a frequency of 3, you would play a frequency of 21, 5 in one ear and 24.5 in the other. By keeping the carrier frequency above beta level, the person could remain awake much longer than someone who was hearing a pure delta level 3, yet their brain would be responding and experiencing things that normally happen in the delta range, except they are awake. It is important to note that most people cannot remain awake for a long period once their brain reaches that level, but most can remain awake longer than they can with a pure. One additional drawback with binaural beats is that you must listen to them with stereo headphones to get the effect. It is imperative that the two tones be played in separate ears. If listening through speakers, the tones are mixing in the air prior to reaching the ear, so the brain hears only the combined tone and does not change its frequency to the desired level. As experimenting continued over the years, people started moving outside the normally accepted level and tried levels as high as kilohertz and petahertz. When dealing with these levels that are outside the normal range of a human's ability to hear, there has not been nearly as much experimentation, and accordingly, there is a huge amount of disagreement on their effects. This really is not a problem for the average person, however, because most people simply do not have the right equipment to be able to produce sound waves of that frequency, and there are plenty of ranges well within our current capabilities to keep most people happy for many years to come. Anyone wanting to experiment with making their own binaural beats can, with a little research, find all the software and frequency charts they need. Basic operations of the software can be accomplished in a relatively short period of time. For those that don't want to fool with it, there are plenty of choices available for purchase on the internet. You can find binaural beats backed with music, positive affirmations, and other combinations. You will also find a growing number of recordings offering what is known as isochronic tones or recordings. Isochronic tones are very similar to binaural beats, except it is not mandatory to use stereo headphones to listen to them. Once you are working with tones above the level where our brains are wide awake, it is not necessary to trick the brain into staying awake by vibrating at a rate that is normal during sleep. I personally have not done as much experimentation with isochronic tones and cannot attest to their effectiveness, but I will be experimenting more in the future. If you are interested in either types of tones, subliminal or self-hypnosis recordings, I have purchased from the companies listed in the resources section and found them to be reputable and have a quality product. Concentration. How strong are your concentration abilities? How long can you maintain your concentration on a single thought or item? When I ask that question, most people think they are able to maintain concentration for a long amount of time. I have had people say they can concentrate on a single item for well over an hour, but most will say at least 10 to 15 minutes. We devised a test where we gave test subjects a photo of a simple item, such as a round, red ball or a yellow star, and asked them to focus their attention on the object, allowing no other thoughts to come into their minds. Most test subjects were not able to maintain their thoughts for 15 seconds without allowing their minds to wander. The reason for the discrepancy is that most people equate concentration with simply thinking on a subject. For instance, in writing a book, the author will often stop and spend some time thinking through a train of thought. This may require them to do a little research to check out some facts, or they may simply need to get an outline of it all written down so they can. This is not the type of concentration I am speaking of. In fact, this is more of studying a topic rather than just pure concentration. I am speaking of pure concentration, the ability to maintain a single thought for a period of time, without allowing your mind to wander off onto another topic, or allowing other thoughts to enter your mind. Rarely reach the point of maintaining that level of concentration for more than 1 minute without a lot of training and practice. The longer you can maintain that level of concentration, however, the better it is for your psychic abilities for many reasons. One reason is many times you will be doing something completely mundane, such as watching television or surfing the net, when suddenly it feels as if a weight drops on you. You may see a vision or hear words or sounds, or you may simply suddenly know something. But how correct you are will often depend on how quickly you can go from doing what you were doing to being in complete and total concentration on the event. In the case of telepathy, when someone is sending you an unexpected signal, you may need that level of concentration to be able to receive, interpret, and in some cases, track that signal back to its source. The following are exercises you can do to help you increase your level of concentration. You can do all of the exercises or just a few. You can do them in any order you like and or leave out the ones you don't like. The big thing is to make sure you practice them every day. If you are truly serious about developing your psychic abilities to their fullest, you will find a few minutes every day for many years to come to practice. You see, as you get older, your ability to concentrate gets weaker, so it almost requires lifelong practice to reach your fullest potential and keep it at a high level. Thankfully, however, once you have reached about as far as you can go, it only takes a minute or two each day. The easiest ways to increase your ability to concentrate is through meditation, because the hardest part of concentration is keeping stray thoughts from entering your mind. Meditation allows you to learn ways to gently move those stray away, yet is easier to accomplish because you are working on a train of thought versus one single thought. Read over the following meditations a few times, then close your eyes and relax while you work through one of them. If you like, you can record the meditation in your own voice, then lay back, close your eye, and follow the instructions in the recording. The Shadow Lone Saga Chapter 1. The door that screamed shadows the time chamber wasn't supposed to feel fear. It was ancient. Holy, a dimension built from the first prayer God whispered after creating light. Its walls held memories of miracles. Its floor hummed with divine blueprints of destiny. Even its silence, nothing had ever touched that silence until something did. A thunderous rupture exploded from the entrance, not the kind born from physics, but from malice that learned how to pretend it had a purpose. The golden archway that once welcomed growth and mastery shrieked as it shattered inward, symbols splintering into tiny metallic screams. Chips of sacred material rained like betrayed stars. Toddler Yoku Rap flinched so hard his pacifier nearly flew out. His usually playful chant froze in his throat. His eyes shimmered with the raw terror of someone who understood, in toddler-level brilliance, that O didn't even come close to covering this. But Anonymous Cherry, he didn't move, didn't blink. He felt something he hadn't felt in a long time, irritation. He had been in the middle of discovering a new breathing rhythm, somewhere between Monk on a mountaintop and Boxer in round 12. And now, ruined by a villain with timing worse than expired milk. The shattered doorway reconstructed itself into a wall of mirrored chrome flesh, pulsing with a disturbed heartbeat, locking them in. No exit, no backup, just the kind of tension that makes the muscles in your jaw ask if they should file a complaint with HR. Twilight Zone Rap materialized with a body stitched together from TV static and unresolved childhood issues. His grin stretched too wide, like he asked his face to smile, and his face said, "Sure, but I'm going to make it uncomfortable for everyone." His words slithered out like they wanted to be a peak training moment. Perfect time to ruin it. He flicked his wrist, reality convulsed. The entire chamber bled darkness. Grand entrance to the stage of your day. Let it be a vibrant force of graceful movements of prosperity in every form. RP Radio. Love the content, drop a comment, share this with others, and subscribe for more content. Cash App Rap Palace 214, a new world of terrible decisions. The floor dissolved into a wasteland of cracked obsidian. The ceiling became a starless void that felt embarrassed to exist. It wasn't night. It was the absence of ever knowing what daytime means. The air smelled like burnt secrets. The ground groaned like regret with knees older than its pride. Toddler Yoku clung to Anonymous's leg, small fingers trembling like nervous Morse code. Anonymous just sighed, deep, tired. With the emotional temperature of a man who has seen too much and still has to clock into work. Inside his mind, not this again. Grand entrance to the stage of your day. Let it be a vibrant force of graceful movements of prosperity in every form. RP Radio. Love the content, drop a comment, share this with others, and subscribe for more content. Cash App Rap Palace 214, the 1,000,000% that backfired Twilight Zone Rap raised both arms like a cult leader who didn't read the instruction manual. His aura twisted into a chaotic amplification sigil, a surge, a roar, a violent uplift of corrupted power, 1,000,000,000%, a 1,000,000,000% amplification. The desert of shadows cracked open. Predators roared from below, things made from hunger, and the part of nightmares that apologized afterward. Toddler Yoku dropped to his knees, little teeth chattering, his toddler courage screaming, "Hey, maybe let's not do this?" But Anonymous, he stood with quiet. He blinked once, fully unimpressed, because something was happening inside him. Something deliciously inconvenient for Twilight Zone Rap. His love-bonded chi, given as a loan from the invisible spirit, didn't break. It multiplied. Purple chai swirled like a serpent learning ballet. Every heartbeat connected him deeper to God's unbothered confidence. The invisible spirit whispered, "Amplify love, and love amplifies everything." Twilight Zone Rap's smirk twitched. That was the first crack. Grand entrance to the stage of your day. Let it be a vibrant force of graceful movements of prosperity in every form. RP Radio. Love the content, drop a comment, share this with others, and subscribe for more content. Cash App Rap Palace 214, Boredom Awakened Stealth. And then without sound, without wind, without asking permission, Anonymous Cherry vanished. Literally. Like the universe blinked, and he took the moment way too personally. Toddler Yoku gasped. Twilight Zone Rap spun like someone lost their favorite enemy. Anonymous crouched high atop a jagged black dune. Weight perfectly balanced. Breath invisible. Heartbeat silent like it was doing ASMR for angels. His presence, no more real than humility in a narcissist convention. Stealth wasn't hiding. It was choosing which sins were allowed to notice you. A predator stalked forward. All muscle and bone saw growls. Teeth designed by someone who hated hope. Anonymous reappeared just long enough to have an opinion. "Don't take it personal," he muttered, tones so dry it could turn rivers into memory. A thin immortal venom chi strand flashed. Death arrived before the creature knew it had RSVP. Anonymous remained dispassionate. He didn't celebrate. He didn't gloat. He calculated the next threat. That calm? Scarier than any roar. Grand entrance to the stage of your day. Let it be a vibrant force of graceful movements of prosperity in every form. Our radio. Love the content, drop a comment. Share this with others, and subscribe for more content. Cash App highlights problem Twilight Zone rap inhaled sharply, panic glitching his form. You're not supposed to be stronger, he spat. Anonymous appeared behind him, voice quiet enough to make the darkness reconsider its life choices. Love isn't something you steal. It's loaned. And I always pay interest. Toddler Yoku finally found his breath. Will it be 10 or 11? The chant echoed like destiny clearing its throat. And Twilight Zone rap realized the desert wasn't the worst part. The worst part was being hunted by someone who didn't fear you anymore. The worst part was a warrior whose love had weaponized precision. Grand entrance to the stage of your day. Let it be a vibrant force of graceful movements of prosperity in every form. RP Radio. Love the content, drop a comment, share this with others, and subscribe for more content. Cash App Rap Palace 214. Chapter 2, Planet of Silent Predators. The silence pressed against their skin like a living weight, a suffocating stillness that understood violence better than peace. This was not the hush of a calm night. This was the kind of silence that paced behind you like a beast, evaluating the softness of your throat. Anonymous Cherry stood in the center of the obsidian dunes, his eyes narrowed but unshaken. The dunes shifted constantly underfoot, as if the ground was made of memories too ashamed to stay solid, and the sky above pulsed with a slow, unnatural heartbeat, one too heavy to belong to anything divine. The air felt scorched by secrets and salted with dread. Toddler Yoku rap, tiny but bound by a courage he didn't fully comprehend, clung to Anonymous's leg like it was the last honest thing in existence. His pacifier quivered as though even the plastic could sense that every breath here came with consequences. Something moved beyond sight, many somethings. They skittered through the dunes with the confident hunger of predators who had never once lost a hunt. The sand hissed under their steps, dragging fear behind them like a dragged net full of thrashing doubts. Twilight Zone rap reclined upon a tilted dune of black glass, as though lounging on a throne built from his own ego. His grin stretched across his face with the messy enthusiasm of a man who demanded applause before earning any respect. These creatures evolved by eating stealth, he boasted, flexing his fingers like he'd just invented danger. Toddler Yoku's small spirit nearly evacuated his body from fear, but Anonymous responded with a single slow exhale, dripping with the profound annoyance of someone whose inner peace was being led by a clown with god complexes. Twilight leaned forward, believing words were weapons sharp enough to pierce Anonymous's silence. You always hide in silence, he pressed with artificial insight. From pain, from love. But Anonymous did not reward the monologue with attention. His gaze stayed locked upon the horizon, where the dark shifted like a bruise learning to breathe. His silence wasn't fear, it was restraint sharpened into elegance. Toddler Yoku stepped forward, voice cracking but brave, and declared that they did not hide, they stalked back. Courage in miniature form. Anonymous rested a gentle palm atop the toddler's head, a subtle promise that panic was a choice, and one he refused to make. Then the predators revealed themselves, not from above, from below. They slipped out of the thin cracks in existence like nightmares dripping from a leaky subconscious. Their bodies were armored in jagged bone plates, frost white and sharpened like unfinished sculptures carved by rage. They had no eyes. They didn't need them. They smelled confidence. They tasted self-control. They hunted emotion like wine. The circle they made around Anonymous and Yoku was not rushed. It was the confident geometry of being certain dinner could not escape. Anonymous uttered a single word, so bored it insulted the threat by existing. Try. That one word did not rise to a challenge. It lowered a standard. A beast pounced. Sound did not follow. Anonymous had evaporated from where he stood. He reappeared behind the creature, and it died before gravity could finish narrating its leap. A second creature lunged, jaws wide enough to erase childhood dreams. Anonymous moved with mathematical cruelty, no wasted motion, no flair, just results. The beast collapsed, skull split clean by a razor-thin filament of venom chi so elegant it could have been mistaken for art. Toddler Yoku stared with a terror so profound that it accidentally transformed into admiration. Twilight Zone Rap's grin fractured at the edges. Nothing wounded a villain quite like a plan functioning backward. "Your expectations aren't my business," Anonymous finally said, his voice flat as stone and twice as heavy. Toddler Yoku inhaled and began chanting. "Will it be 10 or 11? The chant vibrated outward like divine sonar, coloring the darkness with glowing outlines of every threat. The boy's fear alchemized into purpose. The monsters took a collective step back, not from power, but from audacity. The smallest one here had found his voice, and it rearranged the battlefield. Anonymous stepped forward with the toddler at his side. Their shadows merged into something longer than either of them alone. No grand speeches, no elaborate declarations, just a movement so confident it sculpted destiny. Twilight Zone Rap watched, and the revelation struck him with the accuracy of regret. He had not trapped them in a nightmare. He had locked himself inside their evolution. The desert seemed smaller now, the silence sharper. The predators were no longer hunting, they were being hunted. And love, quiet, disciplined, unsentimental love, had finally decided it was tired of being underestimated. Grand entrance to the stage of your day. Let it be a vibrant force of graceful movements of prosperity in every form. RP Radio. Love the content, drop a comment, share this with others, and subscribe for more content. Cash App Rap Palace 214 Chapter 3. Billion% Twilight Zone Rap's confidence cheap porcelain. The amplification, his proud, chaotic masterpiece, that 1,000,000,000% surge of distorted power, was supposed to break Anonymous' cherry into screaming fragments of regret. Instead, all it broke was the illusion that Twilight was in control. The corrupted energy spread across the desert in violent pulses, bending the very concept of stability. The sand vibrated like was reliving trauma from every boot that ever stepped on it. The air shivered, even oxygen seemed nervous. Anonymous didn't flinch. His posture was a sculpture of calm precision. Shoulders squared without exaggeration, chin steady, eyes not wide with power but narrowed with intention. His body absorbed the violent amplification and translated it into something purer, a deeper connection to the invisible spirit, as if love itself had found a new frequency and tuned him to it perfectly. The violet aura forming around him didn't flare wildly. It tightened, condensed to the density of a singularity. This was not explosive power. It was controlled destruction. Toddler Yoku Rap felt the shift first. A warmth pressed against his tiny chest, not comforting but firm. It was the sensating him upward and saying, "Stand up." His knees stopped trembling, his pacifier steadied. He didn't fully understand why, but his heart decided panic was beneath him. He leaned into Anonymous's shadow like it was a fortress personally designed for him. Twilight's voice glitched as he spoke, unwilling to operate in this new reality. That energy was meant to unmake you, not compliment you. His outrage was almost adorable, almost. Anonymous offered him the same amount of attention one gives a fly buzzing near a sacred text. His focus remained inward, refining every ounce of chai until the quiet became lethal. He smiled, not with lips but with purpose, and the desert responded. Wind formed where none should exist, spiraling into whispers around him. Even nature was suddenly trying to be helpful. The predators surrounding them stopped snarling, their bodies tensed. They recognized an ancient rule resurfacing: hunt wisely or become a lesson. Their blind heads rotated, sensing power evolving faster than instinct could calculate. One creature inched backward, another followed. Soon the entire pack was backing away from their meal, realizing death had disguised itself as dinner. Toddler Yoku's chant shifted. No longer sharp with fear, his little voice carried authority, a strange holy kind of mischief. 10 or 11, 10 or 11. The chant stabilized the raw amplification into something almost mathematical. Every syllable locked another piece of energy into place. His throat vibrated with light chi, not meant to be wielded by someone still learning to tie their shoes. Twilight Zone Rap grabbed his own head as if the realization physically hurt. He hadn't amplified raw power. He had amplified love's efficiency. Everything Anonymous cared about became easier. Every bond became stronger. Every ability became smarter. Love was no longer softness, it was a scalpel. Anonymous inhaled once, the dunes shook again. Quietly, threateningly. He hadn't attacked yet. He hadn't even moved. He was simply being, and reality was adjusting itself accordingly. The amplification had made him a paradox, a warrior whose strength increased the more he refused to hate, a fighter who didn't need rage to kill, a guardian whose mercy sharpened his edge. His gaze finally broke from the horizon and locked on the twilight like a verdict. "If you insist on making me better," he said, his tone dust-dry and unbothered, "I don't mind benefiting from your terrible decisions." The sarcasm landed like a punch delivered by a philosopher tired of explaining life. Twilight staggered. No physical blow had touched him, yet his balance abandoned him for someone more respectable. He had never been more furious or more afraid. The desert's silence began to collapse under the pressure of a power that refused to shout. Toddler Yoku tugged Anonymous's hand, not for protection, but to steady himself. He stood straighter than any toddler should, chest out, eyes bright. Anonymous didn't look down, but he allowed the small hand to remain, acceptance disguised as indifference. The horizon split open with a roar from a new, unseen predator more ancient than anything yet revealed. But Anonymous did not turn toward the noise. He'd already evaluated the threat, measured its relevance, and filed it under not urgent. Twilight Zone Rap's breathing became jagged. The amplification storm he created was still raging, but its energy no longer belonged to him. He had not leveled the playing field. He had built the arena around someone destined to win. Anonymous's aura flickered once more, subtle, controlled, and the ground bowed beneath him like a sinner before forgiveness. He tilted his head with that same dangerous calm and spoke in a voice designed to haunt. Love has no ceiling. And Twilight finally understood his error. You can amplify hatred, you can amplify fear, you can amplify chaos, but amplifying love? That meant amplifying the one force engineered to outlast every hell you could invent. The desert breathed in, Anonymous breathed out, the world recalibrated, and Twilight Zone Rap realized he had not triggered Anonymous's downfall. He had triggered his ascension. Grand entrance to the stage of your day. Let it be a vibrant force of graceful movements of prosperity in every form. RP Radio. Love the content, drop a comment, share this with others, and subscribe for more content. Cash App Rap Palace 214, Chapter 4, Stealth Chi, Revelation of the Hidden. I have watched many warriors rise with noise, power that screams, strength that demands applause. They shine bright for a moment and crumble under the weight of being seen. But Anonymous Cherry, his ascension is almost laughably quiet. Nothing about him begs attention. His stillness is not hesitation. It is economy, a refusal to waste the divine on the dramatic. When Twilight Zone Rap's billion% amplification washed over him, I felt the ripples surge through the fabric of possibility. It clawed at existence, like corruption trying to rewrite scripture. The predators in this shadow-born desert stiffened, unsure whether to flee or bow. The air stuttered between fear and worship. Anonymous responded by becoming less visible, not vanished, reduced to what mattered most. His heart slowed, his aura compressed into a perfect whisper of violet. His consciousness sharpened into something precise enough to cut fate. Stealth is not the art of disappearing. It is the mastery of selective presence. One moment he stood beside toddler Yoku Rap, my little spark of innocence, who now clutched courage like a toy he refused to drop. The next moment, Anonymous simply removed himself from eyesight's jurisdiction. The universe blinked and misplaced him. Twilight spun, furious at being ignored. Villains always take silence personally. His anger tasted of insecurity and sour ambition. I saw his pride crack and crumble into tiny grains no wind would bother carrying. Anonymous reappeared behind a predator, palm resting softly on its spine, not a gesture of force but of inevitability. A strand of venom chi, so thin even arrogance couldn't detect it, laced through the creature's body. Life left quietly. The corpse hit the sand like it was apologizing. Anonymous didn't congratulate himself. He treated death like a task to file under Thursday. He is mastering stealth the way a poet masters silence. He uses what he does not say. Toddler Yoku staggered as he realized his protector had shifted. I watched admiration bloom through fear in his tiny chest. Children see truth faster. They haven't learned how to lie to themselves yet. His chant returned, but calmer now. Not a cry for protection, a signal, a beacon.